Hey gang, so the topic of today's tutorial is actually something I almost never do, but that I know a lot of folks in the double staff community do, which is finger spinning. Almost everything that I've showed you guys thus far has not involved finger spinning at all. It's involved having just a grip on the staff that you never really let go, and it means that your wrist and sometimes your elbow and shoulder can go through some relatively uncomfortable positions in getting from place to place. With finger spinning, you wind up in a position where you can pretty much keep the staff in the same plane the entire time. That is, it doesn't have to go back and forth across different parts of your body. Like, you know, for instance, when I'm doing anti-spins like this, I have to bring that pinky end behind me as I'm going around an anti-spin here. But if I'm going to do it in a finger spinning kind of fashion, I don't have to put the pinky end behind me. In fact, distinguishing between a thumb end and a pinky end almost becomes completely irrelevant when you start working in this kind of language. So first and foremost, let's talk a little bit about how finger spins work. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of a close-up here so I can show you kind of the basic concept. Now we start off in a very similar place to where we have when we're conventionally gripping the staff, except that we're kind of pinching the staff between the index finger and the thumb. As we begin to rotate it clockwise, we begin walking our fingers one by one. We always want to make sure that there are two fingers that are on each side of the staff. But once that basic condition is met, whichever pinky is, or rather whichever finger is kind of the extra there, we can switch over to the other side and turn about a quarter of a turn, then switch whichever finger then has become the irrelevant one, give it about a quarter turn, switch the finger again, give it a quarter turn, switch the finger again, switch the finger again, and in this way you can keep the staff rotating constantly as the fingers are kind of tracing their way across it. What kind of uses does this have? Well, if you happen to be working in an anti-spin kind of place, it means that you can you basically can create more of an illusion in that this thing is kind of floating in space. This especially works for isolations because there is something about seeing that point in space that the staff is rotating around that looks really cool. Contact jugglers have this same kind of thing going on whenever they isolate their ball in space, right? And of course, it creates situations where you can, say, keep staves rotating almost constantly and create different effects with them. Like, say, if you wanted to do a buzzsaw like that. And I'll warn you, I'm not terribly good at doing this and maintaining the angle. But it allows you to keep them at right angles as they're rotating in between your arms. This would not be possible if I were maintaining a constant grip on the staves, right? Cool. It also creates situations where you can create even cooler illusions with isolations. Like, say, this is a thing that is not uncommon amongst people that like doing finger spinning, in that both of these staves are isolating around a kind of center point, and you can kind of play around with that feel to create different effects and different illusions with it, right? So finger spinning does have quite a lot of uses, but it's one of those things that myself and a lot of other double staff spinners try and stay away from. If for no other reason, then there's a kind of fun challenge in trying to find all the ways to make these different moves happen, but do so with a grip. It's kind of just like a bragging rights challenge in some way, right? But if you enjoy finger spinning, these are all absolutely options that you can enjoy. And of course, it opens up the possibility, too, of being able to do things like, say, split time, same direction anti-spins in wall plane here, which you really can't quite do as easily with grips. As well as the fact that, you know, there are just some tricks that require lots of rotation, like, say, 8-pedal anti-spins, that are just a little bit more easy when you're doing finger spinning. So, it's definitely a thing that you can add to your toolbox. So play around with it and see what works there. See what feels good. Yeah. Thank you guys for watching, and have yourselves a great week. Peace.